everybody. This is Henry Kramer, 605 Chaser, coming to you live from the studio. We do have a few things to go over. I want to thank our wonderful sponsors here, Mission Nutrition, as well as Fit Revolution Nutrition and Refuel, all three located in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. If you have not stopped by one of their great locations to chat with one of their awesome coaches about your fit nutritional goals, or if you just want to pick up an Energy Bomb tea that's got some amazing benefits, you could certainly check with them and contact them today to order ahead. Also, if you need a new roof, we've got some storms brewing for areas of South Dakota today and tomorrow, and we'll go over all those risks. So if you need a new roof, or you need new siding, or you need anything related to commercial or residential construction, you could certainly contact our friends at Prairie Pro General Contractors. Call them for a free estimate today, 605-880-7776. Now let's go ahead and get to some of that stormy forecast that we have expected for areas of South Dakota and the Plains area today. We got a marginal risk for all the way over into eastern part of Minnesota, or the central and southern portion of Minnesota, and then that slight risk goes over areas of like Winter, South Dakota, all the way back over into areas like Sidney, Nebraska area. We're going to kind of play things out, show you how things are going to play out with respect to that. Right here, I want to remind folks this area right here is a model estimated time. This is what it might look like at 1 o'clock in the morning according to HRRR reflective radar model. We're going to go ahead and show you those risks right now. The timing on that, this is for South Dakota. I'm going to kind of zoom in to the South Dakota area right now and show you those estimates. And then we will spread further into day 2 and show you the risks that are going to be encompassing areas of western Kansas, western Nebraska, all the way up into Montana, and even, yes, unfortunately, parts of Texas, as well as parts of Oklahoma. So if you have not followed us, be sure that you're following, because we go through these daily lives. HB, oh, how about Minnesota? All right, so we'll take a look at Minnesota. Jay Diesel, I will take a look at that. I got to do a solid for South Dakota folks here first, and then we'll get to Minnesota. You might be able to see parts of the Minnesota area here in a little bit, but up into northeastern portions of South Dakota around noontime, we could expect some storms. But again, those are expected to be marginally severe, nothing real huge. Our tornado risk is less than 2% for South Dakota today. And actually, if I can double check this, I believe even for tomorrow, yeah, even for tomorrow, the risk is not that high for tornadic activity. Tomorrow's risk for tornadoes is 2 to 4%, but that is in extreme western part of Nebraska. So Memphis, Tennessee, as you can see up at the to my right, we've got today's SPC severe weather outlook. In the dark green, that's marginal risks. And as you can see, that lighter shade of green is general thunderstorms. So Memphis, Tennessee, you don't have to worry about anything today. It's really going to not amount to anything. And then tomorrow and day 3 look to be okay for Memphis, Tennessee. Laurel, me. What does Laurel mean? Santana. Oh, Laurel, Mississippi. I'll get to that here shortly as well. Again, we're going through the timeline. 4 p.m., you do still have some scattered showers and thunderstorms over in areas of northeastern part of South Dakota. But here comes the fun, and I don't mean that in a good way. You could kind of see it down here in the western part of Nebraska, and I'll get to know Nebraska here in a minute, but look at right here around 6 p.m. Chamberlain back to south of I-90 there. We'll zoom in a little bit. We do have that risk of some significant wind and hail threat for areas of South Dakota. I will certainly show western Nebraska here very shortly. South Carolina, you guys have a marginal risk for South Carolina today. We'll get to the timing overall here in a minute, so stick with us. Be sure to follow us. Look at that, around 9, 10, between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., that hail and wind threat become more prevalent in areas of South Dakota, and that goes through 1 p.m. there. All right, now let's go over to areas of Minnesota. I'm going to zoom out because Minnesota goes a little ways up. So hopefully you guys in Minnesota can see this pretty good, kind of find where you are in relation to Minneapolis area and St. Cloud. You can kind of see that, Morris here. I'm not going to be able to zoom into a whole lot of specific areas because I do want to make sure that I get to as many people as close as I can. Tulsa is okay today. General thunderstorms in Tulsa today. Huntsville, Alabama, you guys have some risks later today, and that is a marginal risk. So just stay weather aware, and I'll go through that as best as I possibly can. All right, so here's the timing for areas of Minnesota. You can kind of see things moving on in 8 o'clock this morning, trying to move on in and having a struggle, some capping, no doubt, going on. But then Morris and Fergus Falls over by that I-94 area down to Granite Falls, you start seeing some things ramping up around 1 o'clock. But again, these are expected to be marginal risks, nothing real huge, not even expecting any type of tornado outbreak or anything over in areas of Minnesota. Again, main thing is going to be some rain, some marginally severe weather there. And as you can see over in the St. Cloud and Minneapolis, I can't even talk, Minneapolis area, pretty much that whole from I-94 by Fergus Falls, St. Cloud, and Minneapolis over to Rice Lake, Wisconsin, you pretty much end up with a bunch of rain throughout the whole entire day, all the way lasting through midnight and the overnight hours. All right, let's go ahead and get western Nebraska because that is an area of high concern today and tomorrow. So let's go ahead and take a look first at HRRR. Central Illinois. Central Illinois, you guys are okay. Your general thunderstorms for Central Illinois, all of Illinois is going to be in general thunderstorms for tomorrow. All right, here we go. The timing for Chadron, Nebraska. Looks like we do have those storms show up by the I-80, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Sydney area sometime after 5 p.m. It gets more numerous and more of a wind and hail threat. We don't have that risk today for tornadoes there, but again, it is just something you need to stay weather aware of. So here's what we got. So over by Maywood and McCook areas of Nebraska, around 10 p.m. tonight, it might make its way there if it still has enough energy for that to go through there. That's through 1 o'clock, and I'll show you another weather model real quick here. I want to see if the NAM 3K has been updated. This is NAM 3K, but it does go a little bit further out, so I want to load that through so that I can kind of see more than just today. Florida areas, general thunderstorms, when should I start in North Platte? North Platte. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. 1 second here. Yeah, the weather model wasn't going out far enough for me, so I did have to change that a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and see North Platte area. That looks to be sometime after 10 p.m. in the North Platte, Nebraska area, some of those storms. And again, with tomorrow's risk being a little bit higher, we could have some early time storms in the North Platte area. But look at this, it ramps up around 10 p.m. tomorrow as well. So over by the Ogallala area. And then that wall of wind right there sometime in late night tonight as well as late night tomorrow in North Platte. All right, you're in the light green. That's good. That means general thunderstorms. Light green means general thunderstorms. The yellow means the slight risk, and the marginal risk would be the darker shade of green. You live in Grant. Yeah, I hope not. No tornadoes expected in areas of Nebraska today. The risk for tornadoes, I'll bring that up 1 second here. So this is the area that has a risk for tomorrow. If I can pull that up here, hopefully I grabbed it. 1 second. Oh, that's always lovely. So this is the area that has the risk tomorrow for areas. This could end up getting pushed over to North Platte area, but we'll have to see. Hopefully there's no tornadoes over there, but you never know. All right, so let's go ahead and get some of these other areas. I appreciate folks in Huntsville, Alabama, Central Illinois, Weather T. I know you were asking about that as well. All right, so here's the timing for areas of Illinois. According to SPC's or the North American Model 3K, again, very light showers, not expecting a whole lot in areas of Illinois. You can kind of see it there a little bit. Looks like maybe they need to upgrade some things for tomorrow in Illinois, in my opinion. According to the NAM 3K, sometime tomorrow afternoon, a late evening, Effingham and Flora could have that marginal risk instead of just general thunderstorms. So they may end up upgrading that along that I-70 in areas of southern Illinois. So look for that. We'll do a weather update here tomorrow as well at our normal time, 8 a.m. All right. Areas of Alabama, I know folks was asking about that. We'll try to get Alabama and Little Rock as well. Little Rock is right here. Have some storms tomorrow, possibly early in the morning hours, but again, not expecting anything real huge. Marginal risk of severe weather for areas of Little Rock. And then as we go into Alabama, we're looking at not a whole lot there either. General thunderstorms right now, and I don't see anything that suggests that they need to upgrade that over in Alabama area. Uh, but anyhow, you will have some possibility of some rain showers tomorrow night. Prior to that, just some very spotty showers in areas of like Birmingham and Montgomery area. What time for Morrison, Tennessee? Well, I can cover Tennessee right here. So you can see, make out Memphis there. So the model timing on that, so Memphis, Tennessee area does have some showers and looks like heavier band of storms possible around 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And then that kind of dwindles out in the overnight hours. I can't get to a specific area of Tennessee, but if you can kind of pick out some of your areas, like where you are in relation to the interstates that are on there, that would probably be the easiest way to do that. This radar does not allow me to do a search for a specific area, and I could, Somerset, Kentucky. Yes, I will, GR. So these are the risks here. For Somerset, we're not expecting anything real huge tomorrow or even day 3, but there could be some possibilities for Somerset today. Let's take a look. Looks to be very spotty based on this weather model. So Somerset is right here. Let me see if I can bring that up. There we go. Somerset's right there. And it looks very spotty showers tomorrow afternoon. Again, you could end up with this line here tomorrow evening over by Nashville that could end up impacting areas of Somerset tomorrow. So we'll have to see how this plays out. All I could do is go based on the fact that the Storm Prediction Center's update this morning, just a couple hours ago, is suggesting some areas of Kentucky could be in that marginal risk for today, but very difficult. Can you look up easily South Carolina? So South Carolina, let's take a look at that one moment here. One second, I'm getting to easily. All right, Pickens County easily. Your guys' risks for today and easily are marginal risk for severe weather. And looks like easily is kind of over by the Charlotte area. If I'm looking at this other map here, right? I appreciate your guys' patience. What about what is, oh, okay. What about Kentucky? So Kentucky, you guys are expecting some marginal risk of severe weather. It's not going to be real huge. You're right on that edge, actually, of the marginal risk into, um, you're on that edge of the marginal and the general thunderstorms. Definitely have some air quality issues going on. Netherland, Texas. Texas, you guys are okay today. Obviously, east. If you're in eastern, extreme eastern portion of Texas, I could take a look at that. I don't know where exactly Netherland is, but let's go ahead and take a look at the southern portion of Texas here. Extreme southeastern portion of Texas. As you can see, lots of continued flooding expected. This was a look at around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock this morning. There's those storms. And then this is around 4 o'clock this afternoon. As you can see, it kind of dwindles out, thankfully. But then it ramps up again. Bear with me. There it is. Woodville area, some more storms tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, but that is general thunderstorms at this point in time. Doesn't look to be real huge. Again, folks, things could change. Lubbock, Texas, you guys are not expected anything other than some general thunderstorms, but let's go ahead and show you Lubbock, Texas. The timing on that looks like a few showers and thunderstorms tomorrow overnight hours, but nothing real huge. And then tomorrow evening could have a few more robust cells that pop up over by Amarillo down to areas of Hobbs, Texas. So just be aware of that. Yes, Baytown, Texas. You guys have gotten really impacted over by Beaumont, Houston, Needville. Um, all up and down this area. Hey, Mesomat, welcome. Appreciate you joining. So there is a lot to go through here. But we do have those risks up in areas of South Dakota today. Tried to get it to everybody. Birmingham, Alabama, somebody was asking about. Again, not expecting anything real significant in there, but again, you're in between that general thunderstorm and that marginal risk. So if a few cells could pop up there, just stay weather aware. This is a look at around 1 a.m. In the next couple of days here, but we'll kind of span through this a little bit and give you an idea. Birmingham, Alabama area. It's right here. Few pop-up showers and thunderstorms is really all we're expecting. Charleston, West Virginia. West Virginia, again, that area is expected to be in, let's see here, 1 second. West Virginia today, you guys are in general thunderstorms, and that's extreme southern part of West Virginia, like almost non-existent. Let me kind of show you right here. As you can see a little bit clearer, you're kind of in the white zone. So not expecting a whole lot in anywhere of West Virginia today. Your risk for day 2, that again in West Virginia would be general thunderstorms day 3, which would be into your Saturday. That is expected to be general thunderstorms as well. Bellum Mineral Wells, Texas. And then North Carolina, again, North Carolina and that East Coast. North Carolina on the western portion of North Carolina, you're in a risk. Kind of the areas that like Charlotte and Asheville and Boone, North Carolina, you guys are in that marginal risk. And then South Carolina also in a marginal risk today. Again, areas at Mineral Wells, Texas, we're not expecting anything other than maybe some general thunderstorms. Nothing real huge. I mean, obviously, in extreme eastern portions of Texas, we are expected to see. But I'll zoom in here for Mineral Wells area. That's over by the Weatherford area, Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is the timing based on NAM3K. Again, this was at 2 o'clock this morning. See those robust storms moved through. And then looking at tomorrow, things will start moving through, but you're going to hopefully be able to dry out sometime, at least in Fort Worth and Dallas and those areas. Today, unfortunately, risk of what? The risks that Mineral Wells has is general thunderstorms. Now, that's for today. And again, there are some risks. When I say there's risks, you can look at these off to my right. The yellow is the risk for it's a slight risk. That means that you have mainly wind and hail threat for today and that slight risk. There is less than 2% risk for tornadoes in all of the U.S. today, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be any tornadoes in some of those darker shade green areas or the slight risk. Just stay weather aware. Tomorrow, so for Friday the 13th, that gets more robust, and then in extreme western portions of Nebraska over by the Sandhills area, that would end up being the 2% risk for tornado outlook for tomorrow. Oh, South Carolina. South Carolina, your marginal risk that you have for South Carolina would end up being small hail, maybe some gusty winds. The gusty winds in areas of South Carolina, we can show you the timing on that in areas of South Carolina here by Columbia and all that. Let's zoom in there as best as we can. All right. Let me show you a solid here as best as I can. Again, this is looking at tonight. You can find your area there. We got a few robust storms, but nothing really huge, again, as expected. Again, less than 2% of a risk in South Carolina for today for tornadoes. That severe wind risk is about 5 to 14%. And then the hail risk is really not there either, according to the SPC. Branson, Missouri, you guys should be good. Most of your risk for Branson, Missouri is going to be just general thunderstorms. For today, it looks like Poplar Bluff, they did add a 2% risk for tornadoes over by Poplar Bluff area of Missouri. But Branson, you guys are outside of that. What's going for Little Rock area today? Little Rock, you guys are good. Um, you will have some storms move through your area, and those are not going to be real significant. I'll kind of zoom over into areas of Little Rock here. You're in a marginal risk for Little Rock, Arkansas today. This is a look at overnight storms. Let me get a through. This was an update at 2 o'clock this morning from the NAM 3K. So we got Little Rock storms kind of brewing here in the afternoon hours, but again, don't expect anything real significant until, well, according to this, 5 p.m. You could have some storms that have that hail in there. If we zoom into that area, let me go ahead and take a look at HRRR real quick. 1 second, folks. I want to double check this because switching between the weather models might be able to get a better idea. I trust the HRRR because it's a shorter range model and it's updated sooner. All right, let's go ahead and move that through here. 1 second. So Little Rock area. I would suspect they're likely going to have that wind risk there. Yeah, there is a severe wind risk there. They did actually update, hold on, folks. They did update Little Rock, Arkansas area is now in, let me show you this. This was updated at 7:41, so I apologize, folks. So you guys in Little Rock area are in a risk for tornado outlook. Little Rock, Arkansas, West Memphis now as well. Some of my information evidently was not updating, and I apologize for that. This is what happens when I take a look at NAM 3K versus HRRR. So Tennessee area, you guys are Western Tennessee, you guys are now in a 2% risk for tornado activity as well. And look at that. I mean, based on HRRR, we do see quite a significant storm sometime around 9 p.m. in Memphis, Tennessee. If I can show you guys that a little bit better here. Let me shut this off here real quick. So there's Memphis, Tennessee. Balancito, is it Big Thunder? What are you talking about, Big Thunder? What about South Carolina? We got that. I'm assuming you're talking about Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi, you guys are in a 2% risk as of 7:41 this morning, 2% risk for tornadoes. Pennsylvania, you guys are in a marginal risk for severe weather today, and that would be up in areas of Scranton, Allentown, Williamsport. Marginal risk means that you have chances for some hail as well as And this would be some small hail, wouldn't be anything real huge. You also have that risk for the wind threat. Lily, you're welcome. All right, so I do need to get ready for work. Sorry, this live was not as significant as I thought it would be, but that's okay. Before I do that, though, I want to do my friends in South Dakota a solid and show you guys the latest information from HRRR here. And I apologize for not having the updated information with the SPC outlooks earlier. All right, Aberdeen, South Dakota, looking at some storms later tonight in areas of winter South Dakota. You guys are expecting some of those storms later on this afternoon. Let me kind of show you, kind of meandering around Lane area of South Dakota. And then again, 7 p.m. down around I-90 winter area. I don't see anything that would suggest that there needs to be any kind of an upgrade for the storms in South Dakota today. Areas of Nebraska, there's that. Again, expecting more numerous storms over around 4 o'clock over in areas of western sandhills of Nebraska. Missouri. I know a lot of people are asking about Missouri. Zoom out so you can see the whole state. That would probably help, right? So timing on that looks like over in the extreme southeastern portion over by Cape Girardeau sometime after 9 p.m. Eminence, Missouri, Springfield, Missouri. And again, some areas of Missouri, let's pull that back up here 1 second. Down by Poplar Bluff area, you guys are in that risk for tornado activity over by Poplar Bluff. Let me just zoom that in a little bit here. Right here, that storm, that definitely shows sometime after 9 p.m. 9 p.m., some significant storms, major time of hail, possibility of some tornadoes down in this corner here. Branson, Missouri, over here, you're not expecting a whole lot there. You guys have general thunderstorms outlined by the Storm Prediction Center, and that was updated at 7:41. So as you can see, it kind of moves more further to the east of Branson, Missouri. Jackson, you're welcome. Let's see here. Good morning, Mrs. Giggle Queen. I appreciate you being here. Let's take a look. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Wentzville, Missouri area. I'm not exactly sure where that is exactly. Where is it in relation to some of the bigger areas like St. Louis, Festus, Springfield? Hey, buddy. Hey, there's a kid back from summer school, huh? Yes, they. I see the risks. Yes. Yeah. All right. What about Winnsboro, South Carolina, and then I gotta go here. I gotta work. Yes. Winnsboro. So just let's see if I can find it on here. Let's see. There you go. There's Winnsboro timing for that. This is based on HRRR Winnsboro. Not seeing a whole lot going on there. However, you guys are in a marginal risk. Over by Greenville, sometime at like after midnight. Uh, Mrs. Giggle Queen, Long Pine, is that in South Carolina or is that a different area? I apologize. I just need to double check. I can't recall. Oh, Nebraska. Yes, you guys are expecting some significant storms there. That's okay. All right, let's go ahead and go over to Long Pine area, verify where that is, and then I gotta go. Definitely gotta go. All right, that's over by Ainsworth. Just have to find some areas that I can kind of. You're gonna paint. Yeah, that's no fun. All right, over by the Ainsworth area. Let's go through those risks here and kind of show you what this might have here. 1 second. So it looks like you might be okay for the day, Mrs. Giggles Queen. Um, you might actually be okay because this looks like around 10 o'clock tonight. Don't have anything show up until after 10. So that would be good. Timber Toto, all models are wrong. Some are useful. Yeah, some, I mean, post Texas. Well, I hope you have happy painting, Mrs. Giggle Queen. I wish I could do that. It is definitely an art. Pardon the pun, but um, hey, hi, Tufts Weather. So Post Texas is southeast of Lubbock. So let's take a look at that. There it is. Let's see here. All right, let's go back to this here post. You guys are good for today. As you can see in the outline to my right, general thunderstorms. That light green shaded area is all general thunderstorms, and then to the east of that is the marginal risk for severe weather. Not sure. I'm following you on that. Creativity X. The risks for tornadoes would be down in for today would be Houston. You do have that 2% risk. Houston, Corpus Christi, League City, Beaumont, Lake Charles, Louisiana, Shreveport, Pine Bluff, unfortunately, Little Rock, Memphis, Jonesboro, Missouri, or Arkansas, sorry. So those are all areas in the risk for tornado activity here today. All right, I'm going to let you guys